Coming up on the Inside Indiana Business Television podcast, a potentially game-changing sports tech accelerator is launching in Indianapolis. A preview of the Indiana Conference for Women. A Hoosier company is helping solve an African health crisis. Trendiana looks at Indiana-made refreshing summer treats. An interview with new Colts coach Frank Reich. And our panel of insiders takes on the week's top stories. Welcome to the Inside Indiana Business Television podcast. I'm Andy Ober. A group of sports organizations is making a big bet on sports tech through a 3-year, multi-million-dollar partnership with a worldwide entrepreneurship network. The idea is to build on the state's strength in sports and technology and bring some new companies here along the way. High Alpha managing partner Scott Dorsey and Indiana Sports Corp president Ryan Vaughn joined Inside Indiana Business host Gary Dick to talk about the new sports tech accelerator.
I think this was an amazing announcement, frankly, this week, Scott, because I think it combines two tremendous things that Indiana and Indianapolis do: sports, amateur sports capital of the world, and technology. The tech community here is really on a rocket ship right now in terms of some of the things that's happening here. So it seems to be a perfect marriage.
I'm so excited. We have such a strength in tech and this long, wonderful history in sports. To bring the two together with a top-tier partner like Techstars is really special. And I'm even hopeful, Gary, over time, it'll lead to creating a template and collaboration, perhaps for ag tech and logistics tech and other forms of technology even going forward.
Yeah, and quickly, Techstars, based in Colorado, give us a thumbnail of what
they're really the gold standard of tech accelerators. They have over 45 accelerators around the world, and this is their first focus on sports technology, which is really amazing for Indianapolis, for us to put the stake in the ground and attract the best entrepreneurs around the world building sports tech. That's great positioning for us as a city. And
Ryan, I mentioned some of the organizations involved. Obviously, the Indiana Sports Corporation, NCAA, Colts, Pacers, IMS, maybe unprecedented collaboration among all these different entities to make this happen.
Yeah, certainly a first of its kind opportunity for all of these groups to come together and really focus on the sports ecosystem. But as we all know, the thing that sort of separates Indianapolis from our competitors around the globe is how well we work together as a community and how easily we collaborate with one another. And so when Scott and I began shopping this idea amongst our key sports partners, we were met with enthusiasm and really a desire to be as inclusive as possible to make this as powerful as possible.
Scott, let's talk about, just bottom line, how this works, how this sports tech accelerator will work.
Sure. So Techstars has a program where we'll hire a managing director and a staff, a local team. We'll really send the word out around the world through these 45 plus accelerators that Sports Tech powered by Indy is up and running, and it'll launch in late May, early June. And we anticipate 300 to 400 applications from the best and brightest entrepreneurs building sports tech. We'll narrow those applicants down and ultimately select 10 per year that will go through an immersive 3-month program where mentors, and we're really hoping many from the community will be able to help us. We'll help them with product market fit, customer pilots, attracting and building the right team, and then it culminates in a demo day where they kind of pitch and position their company to sports investors to hopefully fund the business, and they'd even better hopefully build that company here in Indianapolis.
Well, talk about, Ryan, some of these companies, some of this technology, these entrepreneurs, the innovation around sports that could potentially be accelerated here.
Yeah, one of the most exciting things about this community conversation has been the common themes that extend across all these organizations, right? So all of these sport groups care about athlete safety and development. They care about advances in medical treatment and health. They care about venue security. They care about ticket management. And so there's all kinds of opportunities in the world of technology to address common problems and then also opportunities. You know, everyone's really interested in the world of esports and what that evolution looks like and how it applies to their business. So really exciting common themes extending across all the partnerships.
And this, Indianapolis has, I could argue, an unequaled brand when it comes to sports. This adds to that brand in a unique way.
Yeah, for 40 years, this community's been very deliberate about, growing our brand by building world-class, sports infrastructure, hosting world-class sports events, and now we're adding that third leg to the stool of being the hub and the center for global innovation in sports technology. And we candidly, selfishly intend to use that as a way to attract even more events and greater investment in other areas of sport.
Scott, as we wrap up, and you touched on this, but the kind of the track record for these things is that maybe about 50% or a portion of these companies end up locating in those the communities where they accelerate.
Yeah, I believe it'll be promising, and we'll do what we always do in Indianapolis, is roll out the red carpet, create incredible experience for these entrepreneurs, and through meeting all the mentors and getting plugged into the sports and tech ecosystem, connecting to the phenomenal universities throughout our state, I'm pretty hopeful and optimistic many of the companies will stay and build, hopefully, big companies in the future.
Sports Tech Accelerator, big news for Indianapolis and Indiana. Scott Dorsey, Ryan Vaughn, thank you both very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Still to come, we preview the Indiana Conference for Women, and an Indiana company is a critical part of a life-saving mission in Africa. But first, Chicago-based Cheetah Digital has announced expansion plans expected to bring 100 new jobs to Indianapolis. The marketing software company is planning a $2 million investment in its downtown operations. Senior Vice President M.T. Ray came in studio to detail the expansion.
Let's talk about Cheetah Digital, a digital marketing company. A key aspect is you're an independent company.
Exactly. We divested out of Experian last year and became an independent marketing platform. So we're the only independent marketing software company focused on marketers. That's our tagline.
All right, let's talk about growth in particular here in Indianapolis. Chicago-based company, a year ago launched in Indianapolis. What was the attraction to Indy?
Talent. Digital marketing talent, MarTech talent as we call it, having that pipeline of talent here in Indy, not only from the colleges, but just the diverse workforce we already have. And we're hoping to grow our brand here and attract more.
All right, let's talk. We're going to talk about your announcement this week, investment over the next number of years, new jobs as well. But talk about specifically the Cheetah model and kind of how you look at business.
At business, we are a global company, 1,500 employees across 20 different countries. So this divestment out of Experian has really had us start all over again and kind of rebuild the company. So it's been kind of fun to get back into building mode and all of us being able to make an impact and see that company grow. We're going to be opening tech hubs, here in Indianapolis is a target, Chicago is a target, and across the globe.
And there's you are among several folks with ties to ExactTarget, right? Which continues the tentacles of ExactTarget continue to reach out.
Yeah, no, very lucky to work with other leaders that we've worked with before that have the expertise in the digital marketing space. So we've done it, we understand how to do it again, and we're really all excited just to be part of building a company again. Yeah,
well, let's talk about your big announcement, major announcement this week, talking about investment in particular in Indianapolis, $2 million, you're going to be adding jobs. Let's talk about that plan and your plans for Indianapolis.
Yes, so we opened our office here late last year. We've already hired 50 people. So we're looking now to hire over 100 over the next few years. I tend to think that's a little bit modest. I think we'll probably hire more, but we have 100 at least on the books. Most of those will be in the product and tech world, but we have people here in Indy that do HR, finance, marketing, client success. So if we find the best talent, the nice with Cheetah Digital, the fact that we have offices everywhere, we work a lot remotely. Yep. So you don't have to just be in one location to have one expertise. We're hiring functionally across the globe in different places.
You're hiring, making a number of hires. You talk about the talent pipeline here, but we also hear a lot of talk about a tight labor market, in particular in tech. Any concerns about that?
No, I think, being here in Indy myself for many years and having recruited tech talent before, I think the talent's here. It's just cultivating it and finding it and getting them into the pipeline. I'm very passionate about women in tech. I'm very involved in the Indy Women in Tech Foundation. There are women out there. There are other areas of diversity that could work in tech and just don't realize it. So how do we build programs to get them into technology?
All right. M.T. Ray, Senior Vice President of Global Human Resources at Cheetah Digital. Big plans on the books, so we look forward to following the story. Thanks, M.T.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Later in the podcast, Hoosiers are helping boost Africa's blood supply and a look at some of the best Hoosier-made summer desserts. But now, since its inception in 2012, the Indiana Conference for Women has become the largest one-day event for professional and entrepreneurial women in the Midwest. This year's keynotes include Erin Brockovich and former Fox News host Gretchen Carlson. Conference Executive Director Marie Davis and co-chair Joyce Rogers have more on this year's event.
Marie, I'm going to start with you off the top. The idea for the Indiana Conference for Women, this is one of the few conferences, I think, that from day one, from its first year, has had a real impact. Big crowds, big impact. What's the whole idea behind the conference?
Well, the idea of the conference is to bring women and their male allies of all ages, all stratifications of where they are in their profession, and not profession specific. Yep. It includes all to come and be inspired, to exchange ideas in a civil environment, but really to be inspired by people that are national thought leaders, authors, and someone you might not run into on the daily basis in your normal business environment.
Yeah. Joyce, you've been involved from year one
Yes,
in this event, very actively involved. Talk about your takeaways and what you have seen take place each and every year at the Indiana Conference for Women.
Oh, I think it's fabulous. And so when both Billy and Deborah first talked about the idea, you know, it was something that was needed in our community. It's a good time for women to network with others, to brainstorm, to hear ideas, to tell stories, to hear stories, and to take away ideas that others may have used that maybe you thought about and didn't think it would work for you. And so I think where Marie says that it's for all types of occupations, that's exactly right. Yeah. So it works for everybody.
Yeah, that was my next question. Who should attend? Because the event is November 8th, so we're still a couple of months away, but who should attend the conference?
You know, anyone who wants to expand their mind, network, make connections. We have so many testimonials from people who've attended the conference who come away with very different stories about what they got out of it. Someone who got a job out of it, someone who networked their business into a more successful space, or someone who was just inspired and needed kind of that B12 shot for their business to go forward and make everything better, which is exactly what our two co-founders, Billy Dragoo and Deborah Collins-Stevens, wanted in the beginning. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what's new this year. Always some very high-profile speakers and topical discussion, so I'll throw it open to both of you. What can we expect at this year's event?
Well, our theme this year is brave, bold, and brilliant. And we feel that all these speakers that we have, all these authors that we have embody that. And we know that the women we meet on a daily basis, the women we come into contact, are all those things. And so this year we want to remind everybody of the fact that we are all capable of being those things and can support each other to be those things.
Erin Brockovich, right? Gretchen Carlson among the keynote speakers.
Yep. And you know, it's 2 days after the after the midterm election, so we're especially excited that Retta, who people would know from TV, from Parks and Recreation and Good Girls, is going to make us laugh at lunch. We think it's always nice to have a good laugh in the middle of the day, so we're really excited. She's a Duke PhD chemist, which most people don't know, so we're pretty excited to get to know her a little bit.
Yeah, always a very high-profile group at the Indiana Conference for Women. November 8th, I know tickets still are available. What should folks do if they want to attend?
Well, we want people to get to the website soon because we are 3/4 of the way sold out. And so we don't want anyone to miss an opportunity because it will be a day no one wants to miss.
Very good. And that's IndianaConferenceForWomen.com.
www.IndianaConferenceForWomen.com.
Right, for tickets and additional information on the Indiana Conference for Women edition number 7. Marie Davis, Joyce Rogers, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the event.
Yes, you will.
All right.
Remember, you can catch Inside Indiana Business Television on stations throughout the state every weekend. Head to InsideIndianaBusiness.com to check listings. Still to come, Trendiana looks at the best summer desserts you can get in Indiana and a look at the new Colts coach's entrepreneurial spirit. But first, a life-saving mission that delivers blood via drones is underway in Rwanda, and an Indiana company is a critical part of that operation. Noblesville-based Helmer makes the high-tech equipment to store the blood that is ultimately delivered by drone. CEO Bruce King joined Kylie Valletta in the business of health.
So for folks who haven't heard of your company, Helmer Scientific makes medical-grade refrigerators, freezers, blood bank storage equipment. Before we talk about how your equipment is being used in Rwanda, let's talk about the challenge in Rwanda, why this service is needed.
Well, access to blood is critical in Rwanda, like it is anywhere. And one of the major reasons for that is, the single leading use of blood in Rwanda is for mothers in childbirth having bleeding issues. And it's called postpartum hemorrhage. And it's responsible for something like 127,000 deaths globally a year, and Rwanda is no exception. Rwanda, like many developing countries, has the complication of poverty and terrain too, though. So picture a patchwork of sustenance farms that are far from cities, and mothers giving birth, and an uncertain probability of a severe bleeding event. Getting blood to that mother literally will save her life.
Absolutely.
And so the need was high.
So Zipline launches the drones from its hub in Rwanda and chose Helmer to supply all of the equipment for storing and processing that blood. So the drones, I think, get a lot of attention because they're very amazing.
Right.
But tell us about the behind the scenes, the critical role of your equipment storing the blood.
Well, I love that you use the term behind the scenes because that really describes all of our customers for the most part. We serve blood bankers and clinical pharmacists and lab technicians with our equipment, and this is no exception. So our products actually keep the blood safe through its relatively short life. Blood is only viable for patients for 42 days of storage after it's collected, and our refrigerators are vital to making sure that blood is actually viable for the patient when the drone delivers it.
And interesting to know, all this equipment is manufactured right here in Indiana, in Noblesville. You're already in more than 130 countries, you mentioned. So how could this project really grow business or open even more doors for Helmer?
Well, we're not sure it will. We hope it will because I think it's part of a unique solution to a big health problem. But and we have a very aggressive growth strategy. But I think this one falls in the category of it may end up being something big with Zipline, or it may just be something that we've done because it's for the good of people halfway across the world. And as a company, we do a lot of things like that. We donate a lot of equipment. An example, in 2014, we donated to help support researchers and clinicians in West Africa dealing with the Ebola crisis at the request of the World Health Organization. But we also have donated equipment in Haiti and former Soviet Georgia and Vietnam. And that's just a way of living for us, whether it fits the growth strategy or not.
Well, and great news, Zipline is expanding, adding a second hub using Helmer equipment, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Keep us posted as this project grows, and good luck as it expands.
We will, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Later in the podcast, an interview with new Colts coach Frank Reich and perspective on the week's top stories from our panel of insiders. But now, summer desserts are going through a bit of a renaissance in Indiana, with creative spins inspired from cultures around the world. Yelp Midwest Regional Director Brittany Smith gives us some of the best from throughout the state in this month's Trendiana segment.
These are interesting frozen treats, very colorful, unique from around the globe.
Yes.
Really becoming more kind of mainstream in Indiana.
Yeah, it's becoming more common to be, in Richmond, Indiana, and find a Thai restaurant, Vietnamese, Indian right there. So you don't have to go to a big city to be able to find some of these treats.
All right, you're going to take us on
Yes.
your normal tour around the state. The first
Yes.
stop, or actually two stops, Bloomington and Fort Wayne. Aha rolled ice cream and the Coos.
Yes. So this is made, it's a Thai dessert. They're pouring the milk ice cream right out onto an iced grill. They're adding in the ingredients and then rolling it up and topping it with more ingredients. So it kind of almost looks like a crepe process, but it's frozen, and with the density of it, it doesn't freeze as quickly, and people are loving the photos they can take with that as well.
And that's a big part of this too,
Yes.
right? People like to take photos with food.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of these dishes, they're very colorful. They're featuring ingredients that maybe you haven't had before, making it a fun experience.
All right, how about the Coos in Fort Wayne?
Yes, so the Coos also has the Thai rolled ice cream. So you could be in Bloomington or be in Fort Wayne, and actually Indianapolis has some spots. You can look for Thai rolled ice cream.
Very good. All right, let's go to Greenwood and
Yes.
Sisters Korean Restaurant.
Yeah, so this is a relatively new dish called pat bingsu, and it starts out with a shaved ice. You've got ice cream, miso, sweet rice cake, fruits, and they pour a shot of milk over it. Really refreshing and popular in Korea. It's a relatively new dish, and this is also a newish business in Greenwood.
Wow.
Great for groups, good place to try with lots of fresh ingredients.
All right, in Indianapolis, Delicious Jalisco.
Yes, in the international marketplace, which is chock full of these dishes.
Right.
So you can go there. They're known for the mango natas, which is putting lime juice with fresh mangoes, some spicy cayenne added in there, really refreshing. Also known for dipping frozen bananas in chocolates with paletas. It's a really fun stop.
And you talk about the international marketplace. That's the old Lafayette Square area, right?
Exactly, 38th Street, just a few miles from downtown. It's a really great stop to do, your dinner at one spot, Vietnamese, and dessert at a Mexican restaurant.
All right, another location in Indianapolis has popsicles with a bit of a twist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So this production facility is out by the old airport on the west side, but they're providing their paletas for more than 4 dozen locations throughout central Indiana. So this is Paleteria Vallarta is the business. And if you've been to Chris's Ice Cream on the Monon Trail, that's all the ice cream is coming from this business. Really innovative and really spread out throughout the city.
Going to Northwest Indiana and Cherville, Tandoor Cuisine of India.
Yeah, so this dessert is called kulfi, and this is an Indian ice cream. It's known for being more dense and creamy, so it's not going to melt as fast. And you're going to find flavors like cardamom, mango, rose, those true Indian flavors.
All right, 30 seconds left.
Yes.
Castleton Square, we've got Chow Time.
Yeah, Cha Time. This is a location of a Taiwanese business, the first in Indiana. You're going to find boba tea, tapioca teas, a large variety. You can make your custom order with tons of options right there to pick from.
Fisher's Chow Vietnamese street food.
Yes, wrapping it up. So you can go there for a full meal to find classics like pho, but they're known for their waffle that is made with purple yam ice cream on top. Beautiful and delicious.
All right, great as always. Brittany,
you.
thanks very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Still to come, our Insiders panel takes on the top stories of the week. But first, the new coach of the Indianapolis Colts comes to town with an entrepreneurial spirit. Frank Reich sat down with Bill Benner to talk about his path to the job and more in Inside Indiana Sports.
In the category of funny how it all works out, you were coaching the Eagles toward the Super Bowl, preparing for that. The Colts move forward and reach an agreement with Josh McDaniels. He pulls out. The phone rings. Your reaction to how that all came down had to be pretty extraordinary.
It really was extraordinary because, I learned in this coaching business that, never go chasing after jobs. Just do the best job where you are. If it's meant to be and you get an opportunity, then make the most of it. That's really the approach, that I try to take. When it came down the way it did, it just felt right. For me personally, it gave me some satisfaction to know that, we were patient. We've been through ups and downs in this business. You get fired, you move on, you have great new heights, win Super Bowl, go through difficult times, and I just think the timing was right.
Andrew Luck back after an extended absence. You've been around some pretty good quarterbacks. What kind of those qualities do you see in Andrew Luck?
Just an obsession to get better every day. I just love that about being around guys like that. And then just an appreciation for the process, involving the whole team. Even these great quarterbacks, as great as they are, they know that this is ultimately a team game. And that's one of the things I've always admired about Andrew. You watch him from afar, you can just tell it oozes out of him that he's a team-first player despite being a superstar.
You were involved in a sports memorabilia business with your father? Talk about that.
Yeah, my dad, he was a high school teacher, and in addition, he was really good handyman. So he made these little stands that you could put an autographed football on. And it looked like a football. He carved out a piece of wood. He painted a football field on it. He had 1/4-inch dowel rod that made like the old school style goalposts. You could set a football on top of it. And we actually, I thought it would be a neat by this time I was playing in the NFL. We got a patent on the thing and had a business for, I don't know, it was really successful. And it was really fun because it was my dad's idea, and it just kind of took it from the ground floor up, and it was fun for him and I to do that together.
That's cool. And then you, with Boomer Esiason, you had Jim and Chuck's Boot Shop. What was that all
Yeah,
about?
that was fun. When I was a rookie in the NFL, Boomer bought me we were college roommates, best men in each other's wedding. Bought me these pair of snakeskin boots. Now this is back in 1985, when Western boots were just coming on the scene. So I'm wearing these snakeskin boots up in Buffalo, and no one ever seen these things before. And people kept asking me, hey, where'd you get those? I said to Boone, we should open a boot shop. And so we did, and we ended up having 15 of them all throughout the Northeast and had a successful venture for a number of years.
You were telling me you got a physical therapy business that you're associated with down in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Did get involved in the physical therapy. Architects, Sports and Physical Therapy in Charlotte, have a number of locations, is doing very well. I kind of like that entrepreneurial side as well, creating things and trying to bring a team of people together and let's see what we can do.
Can you give us any idea, or the fans any kind of idea, what kind of coach are you in when it comes to interaction with the guys?
I play off of my background and my experiences. I think that's what every coach does. And since I played in this game for a long time, I'm just like the players, just obsessed with getting better and winning, understanding that this has got to be done together. There's no one player that's bigger than the team. It's got to be done together. My job as a coach is to help push us in that direction and help understand that as a player, even though you're around good players, they still need to be pushed. We're not going to walk by mistakes. We're going to push guys to get better. In one sense, it's never good enough. We always want to keep pushing them. So there should be an intensity and a passion to what we're saying as a coaching staff to push guys to get better, but then also to be able to have fun. And ultimately in this game, the most fun comes when you win.
And finally, our panel of insiders offers perspective on the top business stories in Indiana. This week's panel includes Genovis Executive Managing Director Larry Gigrich, Fagery Baker Daniels partner Murray Clark, and Krieg DeVault partner Deborah Daniels.
Perhaps the big story this week is this sports tech accelerator that was announced, which I think is interesting on multiple levels. The organization Techstars out of Colorado coming in to partner with the Indiana Sports Corporation, Pacers, Colts, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's all about launching and accelerating sports-related technology.
Yeah, I think it's a real validation of the ecosystem that's been built here and recognition of the technology and entrepreneurial development we have. And you combine that with all the dollars that have come in from a venture capital standpoint, creates a great leveraging point for not only central Indiana, but the entire state.
And you talk about the strengths, sports capital of the world, that brand that Indianapolis has created and built over the years, and this emerging technology ecosystem that's getting a lot of global attention. It seems to be kind of a perfect match.
Yeah, I think it is. And then on top of that, when you look at what's happening in all kinds of sports, professional and amateur, where they're integrating technology into that fan experience, it creates a real exciting opportunity.
The potential for the economy, the numbers that supporters are talking about 50% of the companies who come in and accelerate, get the experience here, about half tend to stay in and to kind of launch or grow their companies in the community.
Yeah, this really has the potential to truly accelerate our reputation as a tech center. It's going to draw venture capital, and it's going to draw some of those companies that will stay here.
Any chance this could have happened 10 years? I personally, I don't think so. But 10 years ago, would this Indianapolis even have been considered maybe for something like this?
I doubt it. I doubt it. I think we had to get to a point, and we have some really brilliant minds thinking through these things now. And I think we've really jumped ahead in that period of time.
Murray, what's your take on what the potential impact is?
Well, on the sports front, we call ourselves sports capital and so forth. To me, this is a commercialization 2.0, and that's what to me makes it so exciting. Kudos to Ryan Vaughn, Scott Dorsey, the professional teams, NCAA's, the Speedway, and so forth. This is exciting. It reminds me of what Mark Cuban has done in Bloomington with his school of media and technology, really commercializing a useful idea around sports.
Another big story, a lot of people are watching. Amazon getting a lot of attention on where it will locate its second headquarters, HQ2. Indianapolis on the final 20 list, if you will, but CNBC came out with a study that kind of projects a potential short list, and Indianapolis ended up on the top 10 of that list. Valid? What do you think?
Well, I don't think they gave us enough credit. They have no idea. Larry does, but he can't tell us what's in our application. And they don't know anything about the secret sauce that we have here in Indianapolis that leads us to win all these competitions. So I'm a lot more optimistic than they are.
Larry, your take?
Yeah, I would. In terms of this study, I would just point out that these were all state-level metrics, and it didn't really look at more regional statistics. So the one place that we didn't score as well in this analysis was on the talent side, and it looked at statewide. So I think it just reinforces the importance of talent and workforce development, and a number of the things that Governor Holcomb is talking about right now, taking to the legislature in this next budget session.
Another on the tech side, I should mention quickly, Cheetah Digital, a Chicago-based company, announced plans this week to expand. In full disclosure, I think they're a client of yours. But 100 jobs could be larger than that, a couple of $1 million investment. Again, a Chicago-based company looking at Indianapolis for the talent and those types of things to grow.
Yeah, it was just a year ago they located their first kind of beachhead here with 50 people. The experience was so good from a talent perspective for them and what they were able to do, they quickly moved into the second project to add another 100 jobs. So it's really a great win for the community, and Chicago and Los Angeles were both alternatives for them that they considered.
Increasingly, obviously, a global economy, a lot of global activity and economic development in Indiana. Wabash, the city of Wabash, announcing they're sending a delegation to Asia to recruit business. And you would think a smaller community taking upon itself that we're going to go recruit globally. I guess it's not that surprising anymore.
Well, I think they have been more aggressive in little Wabash County, 32,000 people or whatever, with regard to Japanese companies. But Wabash, always not known here maybe, is kind of a progressive community, particularly in the area of the arts, and as we were talking about before, their neighbor to the north, Kosciuszko County, with the great entrepreneurial history and orthopedic device companies and so forth. Maybe some of that is rubbed off. Really great leadership, I think, shown by the mayor in Wabash.
Also, another story I want to hit on before we leave, a number 20 of the private colleges, presidents of private colleges around the state of Indiana signed a letter this week supporting and advocating the need for strong hate crime legislation. Deborah, your take on it.
And I'm really pleased to see them do that. A long time ago, when I was a prosecutor, I didn't really see the need for a hate crimes bill from the perspective of sentencing people. I thought, well, we've got the tools we need. But that's not what this is about. This is about telling people that they're welcome here. This is about the talent that Larry was talking about. The schools want a diverse population. They want people from other countries to come. Our employers here need to attract all kinds of people. They want a diverse, talented group of people, or they're not going to come here. This will be important to Amazon. I think it is critically important, and I'm glad that they sent that letter.
You think it's going to happen? I know Governor Holcomb has come up seemingly in
I think this
support.
is the best chance ever to get it done. I think there's a lot more momentum now. I think the point that Deborah makes is the key one, which is this is about talent. When you're a state in the Midwest, a region in the Midwest, you don't grow as fast as the coast or the mountain region of the U.S. We cannot have any barriers to attracting talent to our state and to our region.
All right, with that, we'll put a close on another edition of The Insiders. Larry Gigerich, Murray Clark, Deborah Daniels, thank you one and all.
That wraps up this week's Inside Indiana Business Television podcast. Remember, you can find all of this week's TV segments, as well as the top business news from throughout the state, at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. While you're there, you can also subscribe to our platform of free e-newsletters. This is Andy Ober for Inside Indiana Business.